Skimas romantic.
Hello and welcome to Olympic Dispatch by Skimo Gold, the premier podcast and YouTube show for ski mountaineering interviews and race analysis. You have found the most comprehensive coverage of ski mountaineering throughout the Olympic period. In fact, we are doing daily episodes from now through the Skimo races on February 19th and 21st. If you're into Skimo like I am, you're going to love this content with established pros and medal contenders. And if you're new to Skimo, this is for you as well to learn the sport and become engaged and get to know the athletes and how it works and everything else about what makes this one of the best sports in the world. So please keep coming day by day. Go back, listen to our previous episodes as we make our way to those exciting races. Again, February 19th is the sprint race and February 21st is the mixed relay. Team USA with Cam Smith, and Anna Gibson will be competing. All right, today's guest, a true legend of ski mountaineering. This is Matteo Eydallin of Italy. And if you know that name because you're familiar with Skimo, you know all about him. Big victories at the championship level, particularly in the long, technical, romantic grand course races like the Pierra Menta and more. And the guy, man, he is amazing. He is the spirit of Skimo in a traditional sense. A lot of the purpose of this episode is to examine the question, has the spirit of Skimo been lost or maybe been degraded through moving away from the longer, more technical style of racing to what we're seeing in the Olympics? It's short, it's fast, it's intense with the sprint and the mixed relay. If you're new to the sport, you're probably thinking, well, why does it even matter? Well, if you've been in the sport for a while, or if maybe you've seen a race like the Pierra Menta on TV or Instagram, you may have feelings about this. You may have strong feelings. There's been a movement called Save Skimo. There's been, some athletes that sort of eschew the Olympic disciplines. There's been others that really embrace them or rearrange their training and how they do things to focus on the Olympics, including Team USA's Cam Smith, who really rearranged his own training and in many ways his life to prepare for the Olympics, where he will soon be competing. And these are themes that come out in a fantastic conversation that I had with Matteo Eydallin, still a professional athlete, but someone who's been around for a long time at the peak of the sport for decades now, and really has a perspective. And I love talking with him. I loved hearing his perspective. I loved hearing about his culture and what it means to be a mountain athlete and person in Italy. So you get to choose in listening to this. Has the spirit of Skimo been lost or been degraded with these new formats? I'll give you my answer at the end, but right now let's listen to the podcast and see what you think. First, though, big thanks to our sponsors. These brands are doing a great job of supporting what we're doing here, episodes every day, all throughout the Olympics. And it means a lot to be working with brands that care and brands, honestly, that play a big role in this sport and other mountain sports. Dynafit and Pomoca, for so many of us on the slopes, the Pomoka skins, that's what's hitting the snow. That's what's keeping us sticking on the uphill, but also gliding as much as we can. That thin line between grip and glide. Pomoka skins are the way to get to those performances. Training Peaks, the one platform I've been using for over a decade as an athlete and a coach. If you want the best tool for planning, insights, and communication, that's Training Peaks. Every single day, literally, I'm using the web browser interface on my computer, and I'm also using the app on my phone for my own training and to plan and communicate with the athletes I coach. Thanks also to Revanta Creatine by Neuro Reserve. This is a supplement I take every single day. You may know my dad, Mace, has Alzheimer's disease. He's getting the later stages of the disease. And I tell you what, if you happen to be the child of someone who is dealing with cognitive decline, you're probably like me and you've got a lot of fear yourself. I'm doing everything I can to protect my own brain, and one big piece of that is taking Revanta Creatine by NeuroReserve every single day. Thanks also to Camp. This is a Italian company based in the mountains, and the spirit of Camp is something that you will find today in the spirit of the one and only Matteo Eydallin. All right, folks, time to roll on Skimo Gold. Matteo, buongiorno. Welcome to Skimo Gold. It's so wonderful to have you here with us, with the community. With you are a true legend of our sport, ski mountaineering. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks to you, and buongiorno everybody. Nice to meet you, and happy to be with you.
It's great to be with you. What are you doing today? I think you are with your brother. You are in Italy. Are you skiing? We have Christmas coming soon. What happens today for Matteo?
Normally I have training in the morning because I'm lazy, and in the afternoon I don't want to go, and in the afternoon I try so to do some bricolage, some jobs at home, or some technology lesson, for example, like today.
And tell us your training, Matteo. You've been at the very top level of Skimo many years, many decades. What do you do for training most days? Is it many hours? Do you look at vertical gain? Do you do intervals? What happens when you're outside?
Depends a little bit from the period of the year, and also from the weather, because if there's good conditions to go skiing, I like also to do some hours and good tours in the mountain. But when is for example not good conditions, or if it's windy or snowing, I don't train too much. I think that every day, I don't respect a real program. When I wake up, I follow a little bit what I want to do, and if the weather is okay, if I feel good shape, I do maybe a lot of training sometimes if the weather is not good, or some periods I'm much more lazy or I'm tired, I rest or I do something else. So I think that this is a little bit maybe it's not a secret, but the things who help me to keep my career as long as possible is that I don't force the training. I listen what I want to do, and that's, I think, is good. Is good for me, not for everybody.
Yes. Oh, very good, Matteo. I enjoy hearing that. I think many of the best endurance athletes are artists, and they bring the spirit and the art, and they figure out how things go. And I think, yes, there's a lot of wisdom. Here you are, in 40 years old, I think, and you still keep going because you don't push too much if things don't feel right. And what about the summertime? Are you running? Are you biking? Are you doing other things?
Me, I'm very passionate in the sport about the rock climbing. So I do a lot of rock climbing and also cycling. Cycling, but la cycling is much more for training. But I think that my passion also for rock climbing is good because it helps me a lot for my in my head, in my brain, to do something of a very different from endurance sport. So you meet friends and other people who are not of the same sport that you do normally in the rest of the year. So I think it's
Yes.
good for my soul, for my spirit. Is good to meet people, very different people from for our sport, and it's nice, it's curious, and you learn also a lot from other sports.
I love rock climbing too, and I'm a big fan of cycling. Every year on TV, I watch the Giro d'Italia. I think it's my favorite Grand Tour race. Do you have any favorite cyclists from now, or maybe when you were a child? Did you admire any of the Italian cyclists?
But for sure, when I was young, I became I begin a little bit with the cycling because there was Pantani Pirata in Italy, so it was a little bit an idol for us, for our
Yes.
generation when we were young. Then now, for example, I'm much when you are young, you support much more the guy who win in the sport. Then when for example in my case, you become an athlete, you do the race, and then you support much more the guy who lose several times and who wins sometimes. I don't know why, but like in the films or in the book, the superhero is not
Mm,
always the guy that you support. So not me. So for
mm.
example, now Pogacar is very strong, is a perfect athlete, but when there is someone else who wins, I'm more happy, for example.
Think of the French
Is
writer Thibaut Pinot, who many times was very close, and he's an artist. He doesn't use the numbers. He just rides by feeling. Maybe that sort of spirit.
Yes, maybe a little bit this spirit, and so because maybe when I was young, I wanted to become a superhero, and then when I realized that it was not possible, now I try to put all my energy to try to beat the superheroes, and I'm not able to do so. For example, sometimes when it's not Pogacar who wins, it's somebody else, I'm happy
Yep.
because I hope one day, for example, to beat Remy Bonnet.
Yes, very good.
Is a little bit is a little bit like this.
Yes, yes, I know what you're saying. Very good. When you were a child, Matteo, in the Valle d'Aosta, a famous place for the outdoors, for the skiing, the climbing, the mountains, the running. Tell us about growing up in that special place.
Ma so just to correct you, it's Val di Susa, not Valle d'Aosta. In Valle d'Aosta, I arrived
Ah,
in Valle d'Aosta when I begin with the skimo races, when I am
aha,
with the army. When I grew
yes.
up in Val di Susa, there's nothing of special. It's a valley, a normal alpine valley when the kids begin with the skis, a little bit with mountain bike, and then yes, I discovered that I was not a good skier and not a good rider also. But I was not so bad in endurance sport, so I try to put
Mm.
together both the things, and I always liked the mountain, the landscape, and to go up on the mountains just to discover a little bit, to watch and landscape. So I became I become I began
Yes.
ski mountaineering and the alpinism in that way, and then So with some friends, we tried to do some races, and the beginning was not so good, and then after a couple of months was much more better. And then it was 20 years ago. It was the community for the people of ski mountaineering, sci alpinismo, how we say in Italian. It was much more funny than today. Today is a little bit more focused on the performance, but this time, it's not, some years ago, it was not like that. It was much more people who loved the mountain and the party. So I think that for me it was better than now. But now I try to keep my road and to go on the mountain, and sometimes to try to concentrate myself to perform much more on the races. It's not easy, but I think it's still possible. Not easy, but still possible.
Sincere thanks to our friends at Dynafit and Promoka for supporting the Skimo Gold podcast. These are two brands that play a big role in Skimo, from the highest level all the way to the entry. And they've been doing an incredible job at innovation. And this is something we've talked about with many athletes in our interviews. Watch the Olympic athletes and you'll see Dynafit race specific pack. It's that cool green one. It's got a nice slant to it. The skis just lay right against the pack when they're put into that loop and clipped on for the foot part. Check out the race skis. Look for the hot pink color there on the Dynafit skis. They've made innovations in terms of race performance with a narrower tail and something more specific to these shorter events. Of course, they also have skis for off-piste and for more technical downhilling as well. They have poles that are stiffer for the Olympic type events. And overall, they're just at the forefront of innovation. You can see that with Pomoka skins as well. The World Cup and Olympic athletes are bringing many pairs of skins with them to the venues. They're testing out the skins. They're finding out exactly what works to have both the maximum glide and enough traction to not slide back. If it's good enough for the Olympians, it's definitely good enough for you and me. Check them out, Dynafit and Pomoka. In Pierra Menta in 2024, you were racing. You were at the very front of the pack, and I was racing too. I was right in the middle of the pack. I was having fun. I was trying to make it through such a challenging event. And on day 2 of the race, I had a crash and I hit my head. I had concussion and I had to abandon the race. And then I think the next day, day 3, you had a crash and a big injury.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that injury? And since then, you've had a big a challenging journey to come back to the highest level.
Yes, it was a good. It's not. It was a important accident, and because I fell over in the downhill, and it was impossible to stop. So I crashed my head several times, and I had problems to the cervicale. I don't know, the vertebrae in the pain in the back,
Yeah,
in the
spine.
in the neck.
Yes.
And it was a little bit risky because I was compulsory. They didn't find this broken part when at the local hospital. So I went at home by myself and with the neck broken. So it was very risky at
Yes.
that time. The day after, I went to hospital in Turin, and they stopped me there. And I have two operation. I have been operated 2 times. And I've done 3 weeks of the hospital. And then when you are at the hospital, you don't know how the things will follow.
Mm.
You don't think about you are happy because they say you that you can still walk and do your normal life, and then I say myself, if I can do my normal life with a little bit of time, normally I will be able to become to do the sport high level again as before, and is what I have done. And then the struggle is a little bit every day. You don't think in 1 year I will be able to do this and this. You try at the beginning and you see that is okay, and after, for sure, when you do some months without do nothing and with injuries at the beginning, you have to start from a very low level. But me, for example, I have I'm lucky because I don't have a physical muscle strong, so you lose a lot, but you can lose too much if you don't have if you are not too strong. You can't lose too much. If for example, if you are very 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 rich and you lose all your money, you lose a lot. If you are middle rich, is maybe
Yep.
easier to find again a little bit of your money. No,
Yeah.
I was joking, but no, I think that my 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 strength, most important strength is in the head. I say
Mm.
always the strength of the desperation, forza della disperazione, and so
Mm.
every day I try to struggle to find again a good level, and it was done. That's okay.
Mm. Oh, very good, Matteo. Thank you for sharing. It's a great story because almost all athletes at some point we have an injury, we have a big setback, and we have to decide: do we continue? Do we change the course? Sometimes we don't know, and it's very hard. And especially with the head injuries, there can be a lot of uncertainty and fear when we come back. Now this winter, when you're skiing downhill, do you feel the confidence, and or do you have some fear that of crashing again, of having a head injury, or do you not
No,
think
for
about that? You just go.
For sure, I don't know what about you with your accident, but me, I think maybe this winter it will be a little bit better. But last year was the first year after the accident. I was not able to take too much risks before. For example, when it was too fast. Before I said. Maybe I will fall over, and that winter I say no, I cannot fall over, and so you are a little bit scared and you go a little bit slower, but is a part of sport, and sometimes maybe you go a little bit slower, and the position is always the same. Sometimes you lose some position. I hope that this winter will be a little bit better to improve. Maybe I will be able to do again like before. Maybe in my life is maybe is finished to take too much risk, but it's not a problem. I say to myself, you have been lucky, is a part of the life. Maybe you will lose some seconds in the downhill. Is not a big problem, and you bring your neck and your head at home is maybe better.
Yes, very good. Thank you for sharing, Matteo. I hear the gratitude of looking back, and you've been able to do so much. You've had the travels and accomplishments, and yes, I felt the same thing with my injury when I had so many months with no exercise, no outside, and when I was able first to bike again on the indoor trainer, and then I could run outside, and then I could bike outside, and then finally, very slowly, I could ski a little bit. Each little thing, I was so grateful and so happy just to be able to do it. And like you said, slowly, more and more confidence on the downhill skiing, a little more risk, bit by bit. It's a journey that we must all follow. Is there an athlete or a coach thinking about a new platform to improve your programming, insights, and communication? Please consider Training Peaks. This is the only platform that I've used for well over a decade as a multi-sport endurance athlete and as a coach to runners, cyclists, ski mountaineers, adventure racers, and multi-sport athletes. Training Peaks has so many features I love. One of them is just the simple communication capability. This is the hub for first point communication between me and my athletes. And yes, the data is great and it's incredibly powerful, but the communication is key. And for me, having that all in the same spot within Training Peaks truly is foundational to what we're doing. One other feature I love is the weather forecast. I can easily open up each athlete's calendar and see a nice forecast into the future, which is extremely helpful as I plan for their workout sessions in various conditions. Whether you're an athlete or a coach or both like me, please consider Training Peaks. My next question, Matteo, the team races, race with two people. This has been some of your greatest success and probably fun and fulfillment in Mezzalama, Pierra Menta, PDG. Many of these you've won these races many times. What can you say about being a good team athlete? What makes two people work well together over many days, over so much distance through the most challenging mountain terrain?
Sometimes is not so easy, but I think that you must be a little bit of friend before to go to the race, or a little bit of friendship. I think is important to find a good a good team structure, and then I don't know exactly how to explain. And then
Yeah.
you have also to be lucky. Me, I have been lucky to run with Denis Trento, with Damiano Lenzi, with Robert Antonioli, who was all very good athletes and good people at the same times. Then me also, I think I have maybe my character a little bit sometimes strong, but at the end good to adaptate myself at the others a little bit. Sometimes I don't know how to say the diplomatic, but sometimes
Yes.
patient, sometimes not. But I think that in the relationship with the other person, with the teammate, always been okay. Always, not always, but yes, the majority of the time, yes. And yes, you have to find a good relationship with a friend to go, for example, to speak about a lot of things, not just to speak about the races, because when you stay together, for example, 1 week, 10 days, sometimes to speak always about the same things is boring, and is hard. So it's nice to have a little bit of discussion with the other person. You have to concentrate when it is the moment of the race, but also to have funny moments. And for me, this was good, with and also lucky to find people a little bit like me, not just autistic about the race and the sport, but people who live a normal life, but good in the sport, who concentrate at the good moment, and we had some good results, and I hope we'll do the same little bit this year. Why not?
I like it. You have the balance between being focused and driven, but also being a little bit flexible. It's embracing all parts of it. Very good. And what are you thinking for this season? You have some races planned, or anything that is your big goal?
For the moment, I don't have a big goal. I think the big goal it will be to find a good motivation and good shape, because for example now me always I have a little bit, I'm like I said you before, I'm a little bit lazy, so in December I don't want to train a lot, but I go in the mountain. I'm happy to go in the mountain, but if you just go in the mountain, is not like to do a race. So then when you begin with the races, me normally I do like this. I'm not so good because for sure I don't have a lot of training. Yes, maybe training, but some hours of training, but not something of fast. So in the race at the beginning is very hard, and then there's a point of the season when I begin to be a little bit better, and I find also motivation to go to the races. And normally when I have this balance with good shape and motivation, when they are together, I go to the races, I go to the training, I do everything in a happy way, and this is the great goal of the season, is to find this feeling again, and then we will see about the races. When I have this feeling and I want to go, I'm ready to suffer. Sometimes I have some results, sometimes not, but normally you can struggle. The important thing is to go there and to struggle to have a good result, and then to win you have also to be little bit lucky. But me, I don't say my goal is I don't know, Pierra Menta or World Cup. Me, I try to find my good shape in February, March, and then when I have the shape, try to do the best with the shape I have, and let's go.
Thank you for sharing, Matteo. I love it. You find that balance, the fitness plus the motivation, and when you have those both, that equals the magic and the
Yeah,
fun
yes.
and the
For
performance.
me, it's not so easy to find. Some other people maybe is more easy. All year long, they have the shape and the motivation, or always the motivation. For me, shape and motivation together, there's not a long. It's 1 month and a half, 2 months per year.
So as we begin to wrap up, Matteo, you mentioned the old Skimo of the past. It's the community and the feel, and now the newer Skimo, more professionalized, more organized. We have the newer disciplines of the sprint and the mixed relay, and of course, this all comes together with the Olympics this year in Italy, in Bormio. What are your thoughts on Skimo in the Olympics? And I'm sure you know most of the Italian teammates. Probably many of them are people you've seen grow up. Maybe you've mentored them or supported them. What do you think about the Olympics for Skimo?
Olympics for Skimo is a good event for sure, because you can show a little bit our sport in for a lot of people who doesn't know. So for sure, I think is a good event. The thing that is not so good is to focalize all the World Cup or national cups, national events, just on the formats of the Olympic Games, because I think that okay, yeah, the Olympic Games is for not a lot of athletes in the community of ski mountaineering in the races is not very big. Is not the cycling, for example. So I think it was much more. It was very important to keep this part, the part of the amateurs, the people who like to go at the races on the Sunday, because it was a good community. It was a good track, and it was funny to go to the race like it was some years ago. Now the person, who's not who's not a professional athlete or a young athlete, instead of to go at the races on Sunday, they prefer to go, I don't know, in the mountain alone, or with friends, or with the girlfriend, because we have lost all these how to say, this mentality of the good track, of stay
Yes.
together, and to have a party with a friend after sport. And now the rules for the races, and the equipment also for the amateurs is the same for everybody. So every year they have to spend money, for example, for the new Arva, for a new helmet, for the
Yep.
new bindings, for everything. And the races are in each case are expensive. They are not technical. They are not good races. For the good races with good tracks in Italy 10 years ago or 15 years ago, there was much more than now. So this part of the amateurs and the good spirit of the races we have lost. So the Olympic Games is very nice, but the problem is that we have lost the other part, the part who people liked. So the best, maybe I think, is to have the two things at the same times in for a sport.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Then
And I
this is my point of view. I don't want to influence some other people to say, no, just because he is not good in relay in the sprint, he said that is not good. I say ski alpine, the Olympic Games is very good for a point of view, but it's a pity that we have lost the good part of the funny part of our sport, because when you go in the mountains doing a race is hard. Is hard, but if you have a good landscape and a good community after, good people around, you have a part when it's funny. Also, the sport is hard, but it can be funny. And if you just do like that, it's not funny for nobody.
thank you for sharing that, Matteo. And I think you express a view that's common to many people in the Skimo community of yes, appreciating the Olympics existing and bringing in the sport of Skimo, but also hoping that the purity, the spirit, the essence, the community, that those things can move forward as well. And I think you're right. Let's see if we can we figure out how to have both at the same time. And I wonder, maybe in 2030 in the French Alps, or 2034, the Olympics are in the United States, in Utah. Maybe in addition, maybe we have sprint and mixed relay like now, but maybe we can have the individual race, or a vertical race, or a teams race. What do you think? Would that make the Olympics better if they could bring in those more traditional disciplines of Skimo?
I hope so, because it's the soul of our sport, and is much more technical. Is maybe also better to watch, for example, for the some landscape. I think that if you film
Yes.
in a good way, our sport is nice to watch. For example, at television, like, for example, I don't know, in Norway a couple of years ago with good weather. I remember that it was nice to see the races at television. I watched some parts after the race, because for sure, when was the race directly, I was in the race, I was suffering, but after I watched that, and I said, is not so bad. Like, for example, you said before the Giro d'Italia, or the cycling, for example, the Tour de France. A lot of people watch it not not just because they are passionate about the sport, but also for the landscape. I think that if you do a individual race a little bit in the mountain, is much more good to watch at television. Another point of
Yes.
view that I have, then maybe some others he prefer to watch at a sprint in the slope.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the sprint is neat maybe for a new viewer because it's easy to follow. You can see who's winning. But Matteo, I agree with you. When I watch, and for the viewers, if you just search online, put in Pierra Menta and search videos, you see incredible footage of Matteo and all the top athletes. The terrain is incredible. We have drones flying along. I remember when I was doing Pierra Menta, there were photographers, very fit skimo athletes who have the camera on, and they go, and when Matteo comes past, they ski behind him for a while and get some great footage. It really is. It's like watching the Tour de France, but with an even better environment. And you see the fans, thousands of fans up on top of the mountain. It's incredible for television. I agree. It's the best thing to watch.
Yeah, then maybe races like Pierra Menta is for sure is a little bit long if you want to watch all on television. But I think you can find a point of view is from the middle, in the middle from sprint and Pierra Menta stage, something of from I don't know 1 hour and a half technical with some good downhill and mountain and some good landscape. I think is not impossible to do with all the technological things that we have now. I think that's okay. Yeah.
Matteo, this has been so great. I've enjoyed getting to know you. Thank you for sharing your spirit, your experience, your expertise. And my last question for you: when you're not in Skimo, what other things do you like in life? What are you interested in? Do you have favorite foods? Do you like? I love espresso every morning, and I make it Italian style, and it's probably not as good as Italy, but I try, and it's a very small volume, and I really go for the Italy style. What do you like outside of Skimo?
But I like a lot of things. Espresso too. I like good food, good beer, wine. I like to travel. I like, for example, when it is some jobs that they're not too technical. I like, for example, to work a little bit at home. I like, for example, the books to read books. I like
Yes.
listen music. I like everything in the life to share good moments with people that you like. That's okay. It's not just sport. I also like sometimes go to the lake and read a book and doing nothing and to have a beer after. Me, I have a lot of passion, a lot of passion in the life. But in general, is yes, is always a little bit in around the mountain, not the high mountain, but little bit to stay in the nature. For example, I don't like to go to visit the big cities. It's not for me. If I like to travel, yes, but I prefer to travel in landscape to stay in the open air. Yeah.
Oh, very good, Matteo. You're a man after my own heart. I hope maybe our paths can cross sometime. Spend some time in nature, have the community. I would love to go out for the tour and have a party afterwards and time with friends. It's the best. Thank you for sharing your spirit, Matteo. We sure appreciate it. If people want to find you online, is Instagram the best place? You have great photos and some films. Is that the best place to find you?
So yes, it's my brother who helped me with Instagram, because me, I'm not in that with. For example, I like a lot of things in the life, but the technology is not. I'm not strong in technology. I was
Yeah,
stressed before doing this, because I said I will be not able to connect myself with the telephone. It was not easy for me. Yes, no,
yeah.
Instagram, yes. And my brother say to me who write, and we try to sometimes to answer. Then me, I'm not very strong on the social network. So I have some followers, but I think is a small community. But I prefer to have some passionate people. Of also, if we are not a lot, that people who arrive just because, for example, I don't know, some people who are strong with a social network, they have a lot of followers. I don't know why, because they are famous on the social network. They are good on this. Me, I'm not good, so I try to do my best. But in each case, yes, I hope to see you, maybe in this winter. Why not? And to drink a beer together is I think is a much more good relationship than to watch myself and you in the same telephone. I think
Yes.
I prefer in each case.
Yes, me too. Me too, Matteo. Maybe we can make it happen. We'll see. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to your brother. Siblings are the best, and it's been great. So thanks so much. I wish you the best. I'll be following along, and happy trails.
Thanks. Bye bye, and everybody to everybody.
Folks, thanks for listening to Olympic Dispatch by Skimo Gold. Big thanks to our guest, Matteo Eydallin, coming in there from Italy. Man, I appreciate you. Matteo's brother, I appreciate you too, providing the tech support and communication. And gosh, I love talking to that guy. He is the spirit of Skimo, the authentic spirit of Skimo. And let's go back to the question at the top of the episode. Have the Olympic disciplines, the sprint and the mixed relay, degraded the soul or the spirit of Skimo? Well, you've been thinking about that. We got a bit of Mr. Eydallin's perspective. And now I'll give you my answer. I think the answer is no. I think that there's room for all of it. I think that we can have races and events like the Pierra Menta or the Power of Four or the Grand Traverse or these other Grand Course events, or the Rocky Mountain Skimo races that we've talked about on the podcast. Some of those are technical and glorious and challenging and uncontrolled in many ways, highly variable. That's a lot of fun. And like, man, the Olympic disciplines, the sprint and the mixed relay, they're awesome too. They're fast, they're head to head, they're easy to tell what's going on. They're great for new audiences. I think there's room for all of it. Look at a great sport like running. How many ways are there to do a running race, from a 1500 on a track to a 5K on a road or a marathon in a city or a technical mountain ultra run or all the way up to the UTMB or a 200 plus mile race? These are all great ways to experience running, and none is more legit than another. Let's have that same attitude about Skimo, and let's support these great Olympic disciplines in addition to hoping, fingers crossed, future Olympics. I think there's a decent shot that we may see other disciplines like the vertical, which is a top of the hill to the bottom of the hill all out race, or maybe the individual, which is more of an hour and a half to 2 hour highly dynamic race up and over the ridgeline, skiing down the couloirs. We may see those in the Olympics in the future. So, my opinion, I don't think the spirit or the soul of Skimo have been lost. And I think, the Olympics, although the format may be a little bit different from those traditional sort of systems, I think it adds a lot to the sport. And as you can tell, I'm stoked. That's why I'm doing this every day through the Olympics, bringing you these episodes. Audience, we need your help. Rate, review, subscribe, hit that 5-star button on your podcast player, leave us a comment on YouTube, check out our YouTube shorts and our Instagram at Skimo Gold. All of those things can really help us. And it really helps us if you will share this episode and our future or previous episodes with your friends. Big thanks to the brands that are making this happen every day throughout the Olympics in our Olympic Dispatch program. Dynafit and Pomoka, been in the Skimo game for a long time. I was out skiing today and I had Dynafit clothing on head to toe, as I do every day I'm out there. Big thanks to Training Peaks. That ski workout I did today, I hit stop on my watch. I opened up my phone and boom, that data magically went into my phone. It went through the Garmin platform and that sent it automatically to Training Peaks. And by the time I got home, I could check out some key details of my workout. How much vert, how much time, what was the VAM, what was my heart rate doing, all this and that. And that's stuff I look at every day for the athletes I coach in Training Peaks as well. I also, on the way home from my ski, I sipped on a drink containing Revanta creatine by Neuro Reserve, something I take every day, either 5 grams or 10 grams for brain health, for bodily strength, and overall cognitive wellness. Really appreciate this stuff. And finally, Camp, as we said, it's a small Italian company. They're based out there in the mountains where people like Matteo are from. And the spirit of camp, the vibe, the products, this is the kind of stuff used by true alpine people over there in Italy. And if it's good enough for them, it's definitely good enough for me. All right, folks, rolling forward with Olympic Dispatch by Skimo Gold. Coming up tomorrow, Max Valverde. Max is going to be the commentator or the analyst, moreover, on NBC for the Skimo races. So we're going to get Max's perspective here about the Olympics coming up. All right, folks, thanks again. We will catch you tomorrow on Skimo Gold.